Welcome back, Raider Nation, to Raider Personnel. Your host, Raider Mac and Raider Ken.
Raiders. Still in the offseason, baby. Can't wait for that preseason.
That's right, man. I tell you, that mini cap is come and gone. There's really not much action going on with the team, but now we know. I mean, who's been performing, who to watch out for, who do you want on this team, etc. I mean, Wilkins. Big
Will.
Christian
Big Wilkins.
Wilkins. Bro.
Man. Every year.
I mean,
It's
so
always
far,
an injury.
we'll see where that goes, and then we got the preseason coming around in August, and that feels like months are moving by so damn quickly, man. That August feels like around the corner.
Yeah.
So, man. What are your
know.
thoughts on the players that you've heard recently in the minicamp progress? I mean, you already know Darian Porter made some noise, and Dante Thornton,
Yeah.
right? So, the Rooks.
Yeah, I mean, those are the big rooks, man. And then our linebacker, the ones that we got in the seventh round, he was supposed to be just a special teamer, but he's looking like he could actually be part of the rotation. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, the Wilkinson thing is tough. You know, it's always a D-line injury that hurts us. But I feel like we're better in place to replace some of his work ethic with what we have on the field. You know, last year we couldn't replace what Coots was supposed to bring. So, you know, that one is going to hit us harder. So now, you know, we see who pulls up. You know, I mean, if we looked at the roster recently, that DT is deep. You know, of course, our two rookies who have been making names for themselves, JJ and Tonka, you know, they have that.
Yeah.
And hopefully in the end, our guy, you know, Wilson makes it, you know. I feel like it was his second season that he actually like showed up as a D tackle for pass rushing.
Yeah.
You know, he was actually, you know, doing really good. So, you know, we got to get him back in there because Christian Wilkinson was going to be your pass rushing. So I like to see more of that. You know, I like to hear that our rookies were really showing out.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I think the cream of the crop, I think, is Darian Porter and Dante, man. Like these guys, I mean, you know, the more we hear about Porter, the more you start hearing about like what other people were saying, and they're like, oh, you know, he's a project.
Yeah.
You know, he has the size, but he's gonna need work.
Yeah.
And looks like he's putting the work on the receivers. So you know, of course, you don't want to get carried away. It is OTAs and mini camp and all of that. But you know, we're talking about Pete Carroll, who, you know, he knows corners, and he is a defensive coach. He's not just putting him with the first team just to put him there, you know.
Right.
And we have had Jacorian Bennett, you know, it's sad to see him with the second team because you would want to see him push up.
Right.
But, you know, it could be just the fact of Darian Porter surpassing what they thought. And it's like, okay, we need a veteran guy like Stokes to be the other corner starter.
Well,
so, you know, it could be a little bit of that.
I've also heard that he's curing from that injury as well. So, and that could be it too, right? He's coming back from an injury last year that put him out for the rest of the season almost. I think he maybe came back for the last 2 games. I don't know, something like that. You could correct me if I'm wrong, but
something like that. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And you know, by that time the season was already over. But we needed help. You know, we were down to like 3, 4, 5 guys playing corner. So he definitely had to come back. But yeah, you're right. That could be it. Because Stokes was always like a good veteran. He was never like, oh, this really, you know, this player that's going to turn us around. He's going to be super helpful with his veteranship. You know, play the slot, play the number 2 guy, or this, you know, the number 1 guy if, you know, the other receiver is not super elite.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Dante, you know, man, we have a burner. We have a 6'5" burner, and then we have a Trey Tucker burner. So those are the 2 fastest guys in the field, and then everybody else they know how to do the route running. So that's going to really open up our offense. And you know, I mean, Chip Kelly's been talking about, and a lot of players been talking about how they've opened up the playbook. They've seen, you know, Geno Smith hitting like all parts of the field. So you know, you can only do that if you have those weapons. You know, being 6'5" helps a lot. You know, so that's like a 7'8" wingspan somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you hear
that's
a lot
what
of
I'm
good
excited
things
for.
about the O-line as well. I mean, you know, guys like DJ Glaze coming back, you know, Alex Kappa.
A lot.
Go ahead.
Forgot about Glaze.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say you're right. I forgot about Glaze. I heard a bunch of good stuff too. So
Yeah,
it's pretty exciting. And then Pete's always had good O line as well. Good corners, good
yeah.
O lines, big
And
maulers.
then,
So
and like I said,
that's
even last
pretty
time we
awesome.
talked about the O line, bro, I forgot about Thayer
Yeah.
Munford. And Thayer Munford, this guy, I think this is his
Swing.
third year as well, and
Uh,
he's come back from at least what in the OTAs and his communication with the team, etc., and then his little
right.
playful
Yeah.
banter with Pete, all this stuff. A lot of
Yeah.
good vibes there, right? So a
Little
lot of people
body
giving him,
slam.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah. I mean,
mhm.
he's always been a good swing tackle, and
Mhm.
that's somebody that could come in, play all the position. And his size, 6'4", he can play guard
Yeah,
as well.
right.
So that's what, or I'm sorry, he's 6'6". He's not 6'4". He's a big dude, but he's fast on his feet. So he can play the left side, the right side.
Yeah,
And, you need that camaraderie as well, bro. The locker room is super important in the NFL. I mean, in all teams, but more important in the NFL. And, we talked a lot about our rookie offensive line, how much they're impressed, but it's probably looking like it's going to be our veteran guys playing the two guard position
yep,
with Glaze manning the right side. So,
yep, exactly.
it's, but that doesn't mean there's no hope for them. These dudes were literally third round picks going against veterans that have been in that line for a long time.
Yeah,
So, that's still great people to learn from. And, whatever happens with Colton Miller, Rogers can always play tackle as well, so we'll see how that goes.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I'm
No, for
excited.
sure. For sure. And look, and back to what you were saying about the cornerbacks, with Richardson back there,
Mhm.
and Richardson being more of a cover type guy, and then
Nice,
Porter
fast,
being, yeah, exactly. And Porter being more of a man type guy,
physical.
and
Uh-huh.
just, what I mean, a stronger guy overall. So,
Yeah,
and then you have, Denarius Holmes and these guys. And Denarius Holmes is not bad. You know what I mean? I think he's a good
yeah,
second,
yeah,
third team guy. You know what I mean? So a good backup,
yeah,
right?
and then he's gonna play mostly the slot. That's I feel like is gonna be his position
Him and
is mostly
Stokes.
the
Yeah.
slot. Yeah. So, and I can see Stokes more being on the outside. But yeah, and then Richardson is 6'2", Porter is six
Right.
two. The other thing about Bennett is he is 5'11". So that was the other thing I forgot to mention about him playing the second. It could be the injury, the fact that he's 5'11". He's Pete likes the big corners.
Exactly.
Porter and Richardson's are both 6'2".
Yeah.
And then Stokes, I don't think Stokes is that far away. Stokes is about 6 feet, so
Yeah.
he's just as big as that. And then the other person, Darnell Holmes, is 5'10". So those would be the two short guy, Holmes and
Right.
and
And
um
Stokes.
and Jacorian Bennett.
Oh, Jacori Bennett. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, Stokes is at least 6 feet, so he's like right in
Yeah.
that mid range. But yeah, I think Pete, realistically would love to have 2 6'2" corners out there. Richardson being super fast, and then Porter being like looking like a good IQ guy, IQ and man guy. So it's looking solid, man. It's looking
Yeah.
solid. Now it's like that's our guys right there.
Yeah. Stokes,
I
bro.
think.
I mean, for Stokes, and this is his first time.
Mhm.
I feel like he's been, not coming into a season injured, right? So, because the last couple of seasons he's been injured,
Yeah,
and that's when
last
he's
couple of
been in
seasons
and
always
out.
injured. Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah,
he's coming in at least fresh. I haven't heard any injuries besides Christian Wilkins. And that's
yeah.
questionable, man. We don't know what the
That
hell's
hurts.
happening there. Obviously
Yeah,
Adam Butler is the guy that's going to fill in, and then of course Tyree we mentioned
yeah.
already, and then who else can fill in there? I mean, Lakitasi, I think is how you pronounce his
Like
name.
Itazi,
You
right?
know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I think you got it right. That's
Yeah.
6'6" mammoth.
Yeah, what about that guy? You know what I mean? Former rugby
Yeah,
player, and
I
from what I
mean,
hear, he stepped the ground,
look,
hit the ground running.
yeah, and the earth shook. So yeah,
Yeah,
but I don't know, man. He's just the fact that he wasn't drafted. I feel like
yeah,
I know they say that that doesn't really matter, but
hmm
when you have invested all these other picks, I see them maybe going more with if we keep Lecky Fotu, he'll be the other veteran.
right.
But other than that, I think we should try with maybe Tonka. No, Tonka will be more of a pass rusher. JJ Peaks, I could see him more of a more power DT.
Yeah,
But that's who I think it'll be. Adam Butler and maybe Lecky Fotu.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
Lucky Tasi, I could see him for like playing the nose when
Right.
you got to play right in that middle. I could see him doing that to come in for certain plays
Yeah.
because if he can move that line, man, that'll make a difference. So,
Crazy.
but that's what I think. I think one of them, or who knows, a surprise cut somewhere. In the NFL, we always got to look out for that as well. Surprise cuts.
Surprise cuts, and
Yeah,
who do you
because
think that would be?
yeah.
From what you're seeing.
Um, it's it's tough just because you
Yeah.
want to wait till the preseason. If
Yeah.
if a rookie comes up and there's a veteran that's on a big contract, maybe it's easier to cut him. And then for us, if Wilkinson is depending on how far he is,
Yeah.
if we put Wilkinson on the pup list,
Yeah.
I can see the Raiders looking like let's go get that veteran since all our guys are pretty young. And the other veterans on the team, we don't want to keep them because the younger guys have so much potential.
True.
So it could be something like that. But yeah, right now I feel like we need to help our safeties. Either get a
Yeah.
good depth piece or something over there to
Yeah.
put them all together.
I think that's the one thing we
And
haven't
then
really talked
yeah,
about really much is the safeties, right? I mean, as far as like an
yeah,
abundance of players, like you know what I mean. They got corners and not sufficient corners. We were crying about no
yeah,
corners. We were crying about linebackers, and
yeah.
I think now we got some sufficient linebackers, and the safety now is
Very
not
sufficient
so dead.
linebackers. Yeah. Exactly. And the D line you expected to help make everything better. And then if you have legit corners, that helps, a lot better with the safeties as well.
Yeah,
But missing Christian Wilkinson does matter.
yeah,
We don't
of
know
course.
how these rookies did look great in OTAs, but you put the pads on against these veteran
Veteran,
guards.
yeah.
That's a whole different story.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we definitely got to see how that happens. But if anything, yeah, our safeties is our softest point of the defense,
Do you see them
and that's
making
just
a
because we
trade for
haven't seen what
something?
they do.
You see them making a
No,
trade, or
I think I think no, because they want to build a team through the draft.
yeah,
I feel like they'll probably see that as a panic move.
mm,
Um, unless there's somebody out there that's like legit good and it's like
yeah,
a really good deal. I don't because Spytex loves his draft pick, so I don't see him trying to get rid of anything. If anything, it'll be trading a player that we have that's playing so good to another team for somebody they have that they're trying to get rid of or something like that.
yeah,
Vice
exactly. I
versa.
hear you. Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
yeah, that's what I could see happen. But honestly, I see they want to see their players go out and play and build this team like
Yeah.
the Eagles did. The
So no
Eagles have
action
all of
until
most of the
August
teams are
7th.
draft picks.
August 7th against the
Yeah,
Seahawks, man. And do you think
yeah,
that Geno's going to be out there? I know for sure, obviously, the coach is going to be out there. But will he put
yeah.
on the
Coach will
pads,
be out
Geno?
there. Yeah. Nah, he'll put on the headset and the
Yeah.
clipboard and talk to Aiden O'Connell, run the first team. That's what's
Yeah.
gonna happen. And he's gonna be right next to Ashton Genty, sitting in regular clothes,
Hmm.
talking about how they're gonna run wild on the Chiefs. So yeah,
So,
that's what I'm gonna see happen. We're gonna see maybe some Tommy Mallet. I want to see our rookies, bro. I think we need to see a lot of defensive tackle movement. We need to find a guy there. The safeties bring in some guys.
yeah.
Darian Porter, I want to see because he's a rookie. We have to put him out there with a live game, see how that goes. And I'm okay with just like one series. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Just one series with the starters, and then boom, we're
Everybody
good
sit
with that.
down. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, let's
Yeah.
save our linebackers. Our linebackers are veterans guys to see more of the younger guys. Unless we have veteran linebackers that haven't played in a while, like Jalen Smith,
Hmm.
I like to see him go out there, see if he still has it. I think he needs to show up. Um, yeah, but that's what I want to see. Offensive wise, I got to see your boy Jack Besh out there.
Yeah.
I want to see him run game. I want to see him knock some dude on his ass and be like, "All right, you can take him out, coach."
Yeah, no, I definitely want to see the rookies,
Yeah.
Dante
Hmm.
Thornton as well, all these guys, man, out see how they turn out.
Yeah.
Because this rookie class has been so far damn good. At least they sound good, the attitude's
Yeah.
good,
I mean, just
right?
yeah, exactly.
There is that issue now. What's his name supposed to be signed? Jack Besh before
Yeah.
spring this thing preseason,
Yeah.
so or training camp
Preseason. Yeah.
actually, which is soon. So
Yeah,
you
I'm
know,
not worried. I mean, you want your players in, but I'm not worried because it's not like. I mean, I feel like he is a big part of our offense just because he can block, but we
yeah,
have so many good receivers that And in the end, he could have been one of our like part of our offense so much that he probably wouldn't have played the first preseason game anyways.
Yeah.
You probably want him out there with Geno Smith, so maybe Geno Smith plays the second preseason game for a series. You get Thornton and Besh out there to try it out with their new quarterback, and
Yeah.
then done. So I guess that's what I could see. So I don't see too much of our starters. Man, definitely not Jacoby. I would not put Jacoby out there, but Jacoby, don't even dress up. Coach, just coach, be right there. Talk everybody
Yeah.
else up. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Bowers,
Yeah.
I wouldn't play Bowers. I like big Mike in there. I'll let him play if he wants to. If he wants to get his feet wet,
Okay.
but or if we don't have enough tight ends, definitely let Big Mike
Mike
start.
Myers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I
then
mean,
see
so
our
he's another one too
Rogers.
that has been talked about in OTAs as really good. So I mean, yeah, I think
Yeah,
the team is in great shape, man. So
yeah.
yeah.
They've been emphasizing a lot in the two tight end sets, man. So it's like,
Oh
man, if like from everything that we're hearing, bro, is like with Genty,
yeah,
Thornton, Besh,
weapons.
Jacoby, Brock, like who you taking out? Like who
Yeah,
you have to double Brock.
yeah,
There's nothing that you can do about that. You just hope the other guys can
do their
hold their
job.
own because
Yeah,
the Brock is the one dude that you have to perfectly cover him and he still might catch it.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, Genty, he's known for catching too as well. So
Yeah.
bro,
So, yep,
well,
yep. You can't. Yeah.
screen pass, you can't let that slide either. You can. How
Yep.
can you cover
And Brock,
two and you
Brock.
gotta watch out for the screen as well? Like
Yep.
from
And both
Genty.
our tight
So
ends could block.
yeah,
Brock just from technique, and Mike because he has size. So yeah,
that's what I mean.
it's a pretty good team. Glaze can run.
Yeah,
Munford is in there, swing tackle. With those big goal line sets, bro.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Man, I'm excited
it's.
now, man.
I know. I want that preseason. Is it
Yeah.
August already?
Yeah, no, I gotta go through July. God damn it. I'm in training camp.
Yeah.
July. Still, man. And
You
then
gotta go for Independence Day.
we gotta find out what to talk about in, next couple weeks. I mean, yeah, we got training camp, but hopefully nothing bad happens.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like one
Yeah.
more injuries, and it's always that bad luck. I'm just
Yeah.
hoping Christian Wilkinson's our bad luck
Yeah.
for the year.
That's it.
Last year was Kuntz.
Yeah, Koontz.
So let's
Yeah.
let's go in healthy, strong, and figure out our D line.
Yep. Let us know in the comments below who is your guy that you want to see out there in the first team, or who do you want to see
Yeah.
throw on the first game of the preseason? Well, drop a like as
Who
well.
do you do not want to see?
Subscribe. And who else do you don't want to see?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely don't want to see our good guys. Raiders.
Radar personnel.
Raiders.